Hi guys, my name is Tyler. Thank you for clicking on this video. If you're watching this, I am building my personal gaming PC. I've had a gaming laptop for many years now, but it's about 6 years old and it's not running as good as it should anymore. So over the past couple months, I've accumulated all the parts and pieces that I need to build my gaming computer. So I'm going to go over those parts now. So I chose to go with the MSI Gunner 100. It's nice big case. We're going to start with the motherboard first, and then we're going to start with the CPU. This is our Ryzen CPU. It is a Gen 5 3600, and then it came with the stock cooler. We are not going to use this because we're going to substitute that for the RGB water cooler. So let me go ahead right now. We're going to get the motherboard out. Be very careful not to break anything. And we're going to get all of my wires and everything that I need out of here. All these, the screws. And then that side. Since we have the box and it's static proof, we don't want to electrocute ourselves at any point. So we're going to use the box as a workstation. So we're going to get it out of the static proof bag. Move that over. And this is our motherboard. You can see that it has 4 RAM slots, 2 graphic card slots, and 2 SSD slots. We're actually going to be utilizing both SSD slots today. We're just going to be using 1 graphics card for now. We could always do the Crossfire 2 graphics card later on. And then I have 2 16 gigabytes of RAM, which will equal 32 gigabytes. And the CPU goes right there, so let's get into it. This is where the CPU sits. This is the CPU housing. To get into it, you're just going to pull this little lever out and pull it up. And the CPU is going to go in here. You see how it has all these dots. Those dots correlate with the pins on the back of our CPU. So what you're going to be looking for is when you open up the CPU, be very careful. Never touch the back side. Always grab it by the sides. That is all the pins I was talking about. Very microscopic, but very easy to break. We're going to look for the little golden triangle on the one corner there. And we're going to match it with the triangle on this. If you can zoom in, it is right there in that corner. So we're going to take this very carefully. No pressure whatsoever. Just drop it in like that. And you're going to pull this down, feel a little resistance, and just snap it in. And the CPU is installed. And that is how we do the CPU. Now we don't need these 2 side clips here, considering we are not using the stock. we're using this. So let me get my water cooler open and we will move on from there. Our water cooler, 2 RGB fans. We'll put those on later. Those go here. Yes, so I know a lot of you will yell at me. I don't need the thermal paste that I bought because as you can see, it comes with thermal paste on it already. And we will go ahead and get this out of the bag. Take our radiator out. Take our wires out, our nails. Make sure that's something that I need. Hey guys, so I went to go install the radiator and water cooler on the CPU, and it turns out the CPU that I bought comes with a stock for an Intel board. This is an AMD board, which I didn't realize that it came with the stock for Intel. So I now have to remove the Intel brackets and install the AMD brackets, so this way we can make it fit perfectly on our CPU without having to go buy another fan or using the stock fan, because I really have my heart set on these RGBs. So let's get to that. After a little trial and error, we have finally got the water cooling bracket on. We're going to screw it down now. Tighten everything up, holding the brackets to make sure nothing comes loose. You don't want it to be too tight because you don't want it to crush that motherboard, that CPU, not the motherboard. Just make sure it's tight enough to hold it. There we go. The water cooler has been installed. Okay, let's get the RAM next. 32 gigabytes of RGB RAM. More than enough RAM to run what I'm going to be doing. This is mostly gaming. Our RGB RAM cards, they're both 16 gigabytes of RAM for a total of 32 gigabytes of RAM, which is plenty for what we're doing, as I said already. Let's get these open. And you're also going to have a little slot in where the RAM card will fit in. Make sure you line that slot up or you will damage the RAM card. So my slot is on this side, so we're going to put it in there and apply even pressure till it clips back in. And that's how you install RAM. Let's get the other one installed on 4. So we can close these other ones. And let's get this one installed. 4. Put right in. That one. What was that one? Get down and dirty with it. And then even pressure, clipped in, and that is our RAM installed. All right. Alright, so we have our gunner case out. We're going to go ahead and remove the glass panel. Let's get this done first. Being very careful because again, it is glass and very breakable, so try not to drop it. Eventually, I do want to end up getting this glass etched with an image, but that will be later on down the line. So we're going to take the panel off. I'm just going to put this to the side for right now. This is the inside of our case. You can see motherboard's going to go here. The brackets are already installed for us. We have a RGB fan here in the back with the one RGB. We have 3 fans up here in the front, which aren't RGB. I will be replacing those with RGB fans, but I'm going top for the radiator. But our power supply is going to go under this, so all of our cable management and all that stuff will be nice and hidden. So I'm going to go and unscrew the back panel, which is just these 2 little things in the back. You will need a screwdriver for that. So we're just going to come in here, get it started. That's 1. That's 2. And I didn't say this earlier, which I should have said before I take that off. I recommend zip ties. They will help you with your cable management, keeping everything nice and tidy back here, because once I open this back panel, you'll see what I mean. So this comes right out. I'll put this to the side as well. This is where all your wires are going to run to, including the power cable and all that stuff. Also make sure when you do open it up, because as you see, popping this out, it does come with some additional stuff in here, so let's open this up and grab what's inside. It comes with a little booklet, with some zip ties. I do recommend more because these are tiny zip ties. Some bracket screws, some mounts and stuff like that, which we will be using. Oops, that came out. So this bracket here is actually going to house our WD Blue 1 terabyte hard drive. It's just going to fit right inside there and get screwed in later on. And that's going to give us a 1 terabyte hard drive of data. So it's going to save picture editing, games, whatever you really need it for. It's just adding to it. On top of that, we also have, again, our 2 1 terabyte SSDs that we are going to be adding to this motherboard very shortly. As you can see, there's a lot of wires back here. This case does come with an MSI RGB controller with the 4 slots already taken, so that's going to be the RGB fan and the 3 fans in the front, which aren't actually RGB, but there are RGB lights built into the top of the case and the bottom of the case, which are taking in those slots. So those RGB fans that we have for the radiator and the 3 RGB fans that I'm going to be replacing the front fans with, plus the RGB for the water cooler, will all get plugged into this block here. So this way, when you boot up the computer, you just go into MSI's RGB controller, and you can mess with the controls and choose your colors, specific colors, whatever you want, let it do rainbow. This right here is hiding all of our cable management things. What's the word I'm looking for? Not zip ties, but they're more of a Velcro. So we're going to go ahead and remove this, and I'll show you what I mean, because this is going to help us with our cable management. When you're building gaming computers and stuff like this, you want everything to be nice and pretty. Well, at least that's my opinion. It's entirely up to you, but I know me, I'm slight OCD, so I am going to be making my case nice and pretty. Here, take that off, and see how they started cable management for us for some parts of it. We got some cables here, some RGB, the power cable, the reset cable, our USBs, our headphone jack, and our speaker, microphone, are all these wires here, which will be getting plugged into the motherboard. We'll put that to the side. If you look here, there's also 2 more additional SSD hard drive slots that you can fit on here, as well as 2 in the front side of the case as well. So if you wanted to get another small 1 terabyte or 500 gigabyte SSD, all you would do is unscrew this, clip it in, screw it back in, and then screw this back to the case, and then just plug it all back in, running to the motherboard, and you have your external hard drive. So this front panel here actually pops off. You just need to remember how it comes off. Snap on, it is. So we're going to pop that off. That way we can get to the front fans here, and we're going to remove these and replace them with these. So let's do that now, get that started. some nice cable management. I'm gonna actually put the hard drive thing tray back inside, not thing, tray, the whole thing. Oh, and this also comes with an RGB controller as well. So that's 2 RGB controllers that you can use if you didn't have that one installed already, or if you're out of room for it. So I'm going to go ahead and put that to the side, and we're going to take these fans off and get these ones installed. Nice little slits on the side here for the cable management, so you can just run those wires right from the front of the case to the back of the case through those slots, which we will do. Hopefully these fit, because these are a little bit thicker wires, but they should fit all the same. So we have to, yeah. Now, do I want this as an intake? I think an intake would be good for this side. So, but what I mean by intake is the fans pulling the air in and pushing it through here, and then the one in the back is going to be our outtake. So this one's pushing the air out. So this is going to go here. So let me get this installed. Which I didn't think some of these screws aren't long enough, but thankfully it came with screws. Hopefully these ones are longer. And learn from my mistakes. You guys put things too low. Screw on this fan. Alright. One fan installed, let's get the next 2 in. These are pretty cool. I get these put in. As long as I got one. So we have installed the 3 fans on the front as intakes, the RGBs. Again, we replaced those with the non-RGBs. Now we are going to install the motherboard into the case. So let's do that now. I'm going to slide everything over here so I can be center there. I gotta get that top-down feed for you guys, but let's get this installed. So normally the I/O shield, as you see, the cover that's on the little slots here, normally comes separately, but for some reason on this typical motherboard it comes attached, so it's just going to slide right in with those. So we're just going to put that down in here, get everything in, slide everything over, and get it lined up with the mounting brackets that are inside the case pre-installed for us. Once everything is lined up there, we're going to come and remember we went into the back of the case and we pulled out that little white box that was back there. It came with our mounting bracket screws, which is going to be in this little baggie here, and we're going to use these to mount it. So let's get started with that. So don't skimp. I know I watch a lot of YouTube videos, people like to skimp on the motherboard screws, not putting them all in, or doing 4 on each corner. But I would recommend doing all the screws. This board has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 screw spots. So I recommend doing all of them. And I didn't say this earlier, but I did go out and buy a iFixit, not sponsored, maybe one day, kit for this build. It does come with the screwdriver attachment with a magnetic tip, so it makes it a lot easier to just go like that and then screw in the motherboard. Make sure not to do it too tight because you don't want to crack or damage the board itself. So this case that I'm using, the Gunner, actually can hold several different sized motherboards. So right now I'm using the max size that it can handle, but it can go all the way up to a micro. So keep that in mind. I know micros are kind of cheaper and a little easier to install with screws and all that stuff. But if you were looking for a case where you'd be able to fit different size motherboards in, this is a good case to get at $809. And I know there's a lot of cables sitting in the front here right now. Oops, dropped a screw. Up in here. Alright, last screw going in. Alright, and everything seems to be flush back here. This side is kind of hard to get to. There's that side. One here. I can't get to that last one, so let's just hope it comes out. Last one is on this side, actually. And I just clipped it back in. Of course I did. And there it is. And that comes out. And that is our top panel. Alright. So, as you can see, this case has a lot, and I mean a lot of airflow going through it, from the front panel to the top mesh to the back panel mesh to the open bottom. Plenty of air. This computer is going to get plenty of air, should not have a problem with overheating and stuff like that. So I'm going to now get up in here and mount our radiator to the top. Make sure everything is nice and tight. You don't want it too loose because there's parts that will vibrate and cause your screws to loosen up, which you don't want, because then things could fall down, break things, cause damage, and nobody wants to damage their very expensive computer. Alright, so I will turn this. This is our radiator installed with our RGB fans. Next up, we are going to do the two 1 terabyte SSDs that we have to give this computer that extra little bit of oomph for the buck. And then it will be time for the power supply. Oh, I didn't like the sound of that. Screw. That's okay. We're good. Okay, so this motherboard has 2 SSD ports on it, one here and one here. So we're utilizing both of them. So we're going to go ahead and remove the covers. Just get unscrewed and come right out. So that's one screw, put that there. We'll take this screw. It's 2 screws. Alright. Put this here. This is one of our 1 terabyte SSD drives. There's a little groove here, there's a little groove in there. We're just going to install it that way. So just push it in. And I'm just going to push it down and screw it in. Let me grab the appropriate screw. Let me find the appropriate screw. Would be a better statement there. I don't know if this is the appropriate screw. I'll tell you in a second. That is not the appropriate screw. See if this is it. This might be it. Let me get my handy dandy screwdriver. Hold that down. Put that in. And I don't know if this works. That's not the right scale. Give me 1 second to find the proper screws, guys.
Yep.
So we're gonna put the SD in. Don't screw it down all the way. And if you look at the back side of the cover that is on there, you're going to want to take this off. This is thermal paste. It will keep it so our SSDs don't overheat. And so we're just going to remove that. We're going to pop this baby back on. So this way. So we will screw this down a little bit. And we will line it back up. Oops. We'll get this back on. And get this one back on here. We're making progress, guys. We're almost done. After we get this installed, we will get our graphics card in, and then our power supply goes in. Then we just gotta wire everything up and pray that it posts. And I completely missed the screw spot. There it is. Now we're in. Let's tighten that up. All right, that's one SSD in. Let's move on to the next one. Didn't take this one out all the way. Alright, so let's take this out. Grab our second 1 terabyte SSD card. Be careful not to break it. Same thing as before. Just pop it in. I'm gonna screw it down. I totally didn't forget to install the standoffs. I have no idea what you guys are talking about. We are going to have to cut back to me doing the other one. I'm gonna have to redo the other one. Now let's install our SSD. Get it in there. Alright, and then we'll get that screwed down. Make sure to hold it down and then screw it in. And then thermal paste on the back to keep from overheating. So we'll go ahead and remove this plastic cover. And we will pop this baby back on. Make sure everything's lined up. It is. Alright, we'll go and get the other SSD installed. Graphics card time, so let's take that off. Ooh, nice little envelope in here from MSI. Some stickers, Mac stickers, kind of cool. And then we have, I think this is the directions. We don't really need that. My camera guy just stole my stickers. Here is our God, that's actually heavy. Woo! It's got some heft to it. This is our graphics card, again in static resistant plastic, so nothing gets fried or anything like that. Alright, this is our MSI Radeon 5500 XT Mech graphics card. I did get this on sale for, I think it was $189 at Best Buy. Again, I will eventually upgrade this to a 20 Ti for better graphics. It does come with a cover. We're going to have to take that off when we install. It also comes with a cover for all the ports, which I think is actually pretty cool. Keeps some dust from getting in. It looks like it might be it is a double bracket, so we're going to have to come in here now and take out 2 brackets and put this puppy in. So let's install our graphics card. Okay, so this is going to go in here, so we're going to take out these 2 slots right here. And put that there, and we're going to this one. Hopefully that is correct. Oops, not that. We're smart here, people. We have the problems, so you don't. We're going to come to our, let me push this back a little bit so you can get a review. Our graphics card here, we're going to remove the cover, and then we're going to install our graphics card. Make sure, same thing as we did with the RAM cards, there's going to be a little clip, unclip it, and proceed to installation. If I can get this to fit properly. I might have taken off the wrong one, and looks like I did. So I'm going to come and take this one off. Oh, that screw wasn't even in. And then we're going to install our graphics card here. You will hear it clip, so you will know when it's in. That's it. Graphics card's installed. Then we will screw it in on the sides here, but it looks like the screw does need to come out. I don't know why it didn't. Let me take this screw and that stuff out. That did need to come out. So our graphics card can get up here, and we can install it. screw. Two screws. And it looks like you can actually put one of these back because I actually took out one too many. So put this back in. Screw that on. Alright guys, that's basically it for the build. Our graphics card's installed, our motherboard is installed, we have our RAM, our radiator with our two RGB fans, our back fan, and then our two front fans. All that's left now is to install my 1 terabyte hard drive and the power supply. So we'll get right into that. Okay, so now we're going to install my 1 terabyte hard drive here. So the cool thing about this case is it has these little bracket pins, so the hard drive just literally pops in. So we're just going to go like this and pop it into the screw holes. Normally you would screw it in for stability, but this one just has little screw pops, which we will just pop them in. Which one did fall out, so let me put that back in. Just literally pops it up with. Just like that. We can close this, and then that just goes right back in there, ready to get plugged into our power and our motherboard. Alright, let's work on our power now. I have it somewhere around here. Give me 1 second. Here it is. So we have a tough power supply, 80 plus gold. Great, that's a great reading. So we're going to open this up and get everything that we need. Lots and lots of cable. And this is our power plug here. Remove this. Some more zip ties, always handy. Installation screws, which we'll need. This is our power plug, goes into the back. And this box right here is our baby. This is what's going to be powering the entire unit. With this, considering we have the shroud cover for the power supply, I recommend putting it fan down. We also, I don't think I mentioned this earlier, but on the bottom there is a magnetic vent here that can be removed to prevent dust. So that's why we're going to aim the fan for the power supply down, so that way the hot air is going outwards. So what we're going to do now is we're going to untwist, tie all of these, get all of these out and about. I will turn our case around so you can see what I'm doing. And then this is our power supply. Again, fan facing down. I'll pop her. I might not fit this way. I might have to remove the shroud. This is just going to go. There we go. And then we're just going to screw it into its respective spots. So grab my screwdriver and we will do that. There it is. Line up our screw holes. And we're going to screw in our power supply. And I will tell you, I am hoping that everything works properly and that she will post the first time around. If not, we will be doing some troubleshooting. big boy screwdriver for this one. It's a little tight. Alright, on off, our power supply is installed. Let's get everything wired up and we will fire her up and pray everything works. We're back. We got everything all plugged in. I will explain how we did that. The reason we did it off camera for a little bit is because we needed to figure it out ourselves and figure out where everything went. So let me come around here and explain. So our 24 pin come right off the power supply that's going to power our motherboard, gets plugged in here. Also, we have two 8 pins that get plugged in at the top right up here. I don't know why there's a loose one here. I will have to check on that. Graphics card, red wire came with the power supply in a separate bag. Gets plugged in here, ran through the back. Our SATA cable gets plugged in here, powering our hard drive. This is all of our controls for the top here, USBs, headphones, power supply, the reset cord, in case we need to reset anything. And then we're going to come around to the back and I'll explain some more to you. So, did a little bit of cable management. We have our fans plugged in here and here to run both of our fans from our radiator, the front and our back fans. We have our SATA cable, which I really hope is plugged in because that's a little tight there, and that came unplugged. Of course it did. So these are our SATA cables. Tight. SATA cables here. This is our 1 terabyte hard drive that we put in that we installed there. This is to power our radiator, and this is also to power the motherboard. And all this gets plugged into the back of the power supply here. And then we just did, again, major cable management. We also got the RGB controls and everything plugged in for all of the radiator fans, the front fan. Oh, there you go. Woo! That's pretty. Damn, that's pretty.
Well, the
RGB fans in the front aren't working, so I'll have to troubleshoot that and see why that's not working. Let me go troubleshoot that. The inside looks really clean.
We're gonna film it when it's turned.
Looks really clean though. Alright, so we're gonna power it off and figure out why these RGB fans in the front don't work.
Pictures of a world I've never seen. of a love.